I am Karen Harding Davis. I am the program coordinator for the Big Bang business competition, and I have this is my second year producing the Big Bang, and we have been doing the Big Bang for 18 years now. This year we're really excited. We have $100,000 to give away in prize money in a lot of different categories. And just to tell you a little bit about the Big Bang, it's an 8-month-long workshop series that culminates in a live pitch in front of judges. So everything up until the final round can be done virtually. So you go onto our software platform and register there. And the final deadline is February 21st. And pretty much what you need to have on that deadline is your 2-page executive summary. And just like your pitch in 7 words or in 140 words, tell us a little bit about your team members. And that's the first round. And then we'll have, we have judges from our community and our network that have been in the business before come in on the software platform and offer you feedback, and they score your applications. And then after the first round, 75% of the teams move on to the second round. And in the second round, you need to have your first draft of your slide deck, which is 10 slides. And you need to do some customer calls, talking to people, potential customers, telling them about your idea, getting feedback from them, seeing if this is a problem that they might have, and how if what they think about your solution. And so all of our workshops are available online, which is nice. So we've had about 6 of them so far, and you can go back and watch those videos at any time. They're 2-hour workshops that we have on Wednesdays. We have one coming up on Thursday, which is the business boot camp, and our faculty director for the Institute for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, his name is Andy Hargadon. He'll be presenting, as well as Cleveland Justice, who's our executive director. And then our marketing director will be there as well. And she'll be talking about how to market yourself and having a LinkedIn page, a Facebook page for your venture, because the top 15 teams start to get a lot of publicity, the semifinalists, and then the 5 finalists get even more publicity. So you want to always be ready to market your venture, and she'll be talking about that. This year we have a lot of we have 4 different pillars, and one of them is energy and health and food and ag and engineering. Those are our 4 pillars, but you don't have to fit into one of those 4 pillars to compete in our competition. But those are just our 4 main pillars, mostly what UC Davis focuses on. But for example, a couple of the winners last year, our top winner called Radiant Oximetry, they developed a device to help differentiate. They wanted to decrease the amount of cesarean sections, and so they have a device that helps give doctors more information when they're deciding whether a mother needs to have a cesarean section, that can differentiate the blood oxygen levels from the mom and from the fetus. And so that they won the first prize. And then the second prize, an undergrad team actually got second, and they developed an app in conjunction with the iPhone and a device that could help make science interesting for a reasonable price for K through 12th graders. And then another team won our Poverty Alleviation Award, and they they were both first-generation low-income students, and when they were in high school, they weren't really prepared for the SAT, and so they saw a need for those high school students, and they created a curriculum to help increase SAT scores and also the psychological component for the students to believe that they could go to college. So those are some of the examples of some of the teams that won last year. And it's just it's a great event. The final event is amazing. We have about 300 people who come, and we'll be having a poster competition that day as well. And it's not just about like winning the money and getting the publicity, but it's also, our competition is meant to be an educational journey. So what teams come in from you know, in different on the continuum in different places. So some people are really just came up with an idea and don't have it developed a lot, and some people have their idea developed more. So
we have a couple questions, if this is a
yeah.
good time, from Mitchell.
Sure.
First, how many participants are in the Big Bang competition? Does the CEO of a company participate?
Yeah, so last year it was a little different because we added some food and ag challenge awards at the end, but last year we had 70 teams, and through the 3 different rounds of judging, and it gets narrowed down to the top 15. And then those 15 came in person to pitch in front of judges here at UC Davis. And then from there, we picked the top 5 and then the prizes on the final day.
And his next question was, where will the final event be hosted, and when and where?
So it'll be at UC Davis, and if you've ever been to the Mondavi Theater or the new art museum, there's a quad just off of 80 at UC Davis, and there's an alumni center, and that's where the final event will be, and that will be on May 24th. And we'll have, we have food and beverages and music. Like I said, we'll have a Little Bang poster competition earlier in the day where we'll be giving away $10,000 at the poster competition, and those posters will all be in the courtyard adjacent to where the presentations will be. So it's nice. We have food and beverages and music and the posters and a really big networking time, and then everybody will go in for the presentations, and we present the big checks, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay, yeah. So I think that was his last question. Maybe you can just share more about how you think the event's going to run, and kind of ideas that you've seen in the past, or and applying. So all of all the deliverables that are due for the competition, we have workshops that help you with that, and we have templates. So if you go to bigbang.ucdavis.edu or bigbang.ucdavis.edu, you can see, you can go to rules and tools, and it has everything that you need for our competition. The executive summary template, which is 2 pages, and it breaks down everything that you need to do for that. Also, that's where you'll see the guidelines and eligibility for the competition. And you'll see the template for customer calls, and even we give you a script about talking to customers and ideas about the conversation and questions to ask. You really want the customer to talk to you more. You're not telling them in detail everything that you do. You're telling them about your project a little bit, but you really want them to talk more. And we did have a workshop about the customer calls, and you can see that
online. It was a really great workshop. So that's what I would recommend. And I mean, do you guys have a venture right now? And are you interested in maybe applying, and how are you feeling about it? Do you feel like you're ready to apply? And
I have a question from Mitchell. He says, yes, we're potentially interested. Waterfine provides enterprise software solutions for water agency. Our sales cycle is quite long. Given that the nature of our sales process is quite long, would we be a good candidate for this competition?
yeah, I mean, I definitely think business isn't my expertise. I'm in the event and marketing of the Big Bang. So, but what I recommend is that you go ahead and apply. Click on the link on our website about applying to the Big Bang, and it will take you to our software platform. It's called Unidal, and their organization, a company out of San Francisco that has a software platform for business competitions just like ours. And I recommend just entering and applying. And in the first round, what we do is we have 3 judges look at every application, and then you'll get your scores, and Unidal will average all the scores, and then the top 75% will move on to the next round. So a lot of your answers will get your questions will get answered by the judges, and so I really recommend just going in and looking at the application and creating your application and getting your feet wet with it, and see what the feedback will be from the judges.
And Jim was wondering if you could share the web page with him again.
Sure. It's Big Bang.
For the presentations that you had mentioned. So I think he's talking about the main one.
Okay. So if you go to bigbang.ucdavis.edu, that's where you'll find everything, all the links, all the information, the templates for the webinars. That link will be on there as well. And I'm happy to, if you give me his email right now, I can send him an email with the links as well.
I can get it to you after the webinar.
Okay. Yeah, so I can send all the information to him.
Says thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So like I said, the next workshop's coming up. We have the Big Bang business workshop, and then we will have on February 28th, developing your startup slide deck. And we have a previous winner, Benjamin Wang. He created a device. When you get in, the intubation process creates a lot of issues sometimes. So he's created a device that can help decrease complications when patients need to get intubated. And he won the Big Bang a few years ago, and he will be presenting how to develop your startup slide deck, and that's 10 slides. So he's really good at that, and teaching you how to make it. You don't want tons of words on it, you want some graphics, you want some bullets, and you want to be able to, when you're presenting, you don't want to be reading your slide deck. You want to be talking, to the audience and to the judges, and getting people excited about your idea, not going into tons of detail on the slides, making them visibly, appealing to people, and not talking over their heads about the certain science of your idea, because the judges and the audience might, that might not be their expertise. So you need to be able to communicate your idea where people will be interested and, perhaps want to ask more questions. But the slides shouldn't just be filled with a bunch of words, because you're up there presenting it. So
I had another question from Mitchell. He said, in totality, how much time do firms typically invest in this competition? Like hours per week? kind of situation?
Oh, the teams that apply?
Yes.
That's a good question, because I haven't really asked them, you know, how many hours they've put into it, and I guess different teams put in a different amount of hours, based on how far along they are, you know, on their journey. You know, some of them, if they're in the very beginning, they might need to put more time into it. So yeah, that's a hard question to answer. But I mean, I always encourage people just to go for it. I mean, there's no harm in jumping in the pool and seeing, you know, seeing what happens. I would think one of the bigger time constraints is like the customer calls, because you need to talk to 20 customers in the second round, and you know, so that takes some time, finding the customers and talking to them about your idea and getting their feedback, and then you put it onto a template, so that the judges can see, you know, what you've learned from different customers. And then in the final round, if you're chosen as the top 15, you need to make 10 more customer calls. But you should be talking to people and customers about your idea anyway. And it helps you refine your idea as well, and just get a lot of insight from people in your area of expertise. So, you know, that might take some time. But putting your slide deck together, 10 slides, I don't think is overwhelming. And doing a 2-minute video pitch about it, that can just be done with your iPhone or smartphone.
I guess you could tell us kind of what you're looking forward to, and as this process starts up, like what's your kind of your favorite part, what you're looking forward to the most.
Well, as far as my job, I mean, my job is great. I produce this business competition. That's pretty much my job, and that's all that I focus on. I love meeting all the young innovators and that are passionate about their idea and making the world a better place. And right now we have 20 teams that registered early. There was a December 6th deadline where they got their executive summary in early, and I was able to pair them up with the Institute for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Has a huge network. It's really what we teach about. I mean, it's all about the network and your relationships and who you're meeting, and that's why the Big Bang is so valuable. Not just the money, but the people that you meet is really, really valuable. So I paired those 20 teams up with their mentor, and they'll have a mentor for the next few months of the competition, where they'll give feedback for their executive summary and so forth, their slide deck, and so I'm just excited about all the ideas that come out. It's truly amazing. All the innovations this year with Assembly Bill 2664. Every UC campus was given $2.2 million to help spur innovation and entrepreneurship in California. And with that money, part of what I've done is we started the Little Bang poster competition. So we had 3 sessions of the Little Bang where, you know, initially it's just getting people to think of themselves as innovators. They see a problem in the world, they come up with an innovation, and they are an innovator, and bringing that idea to reality through a poster was like the first baby step to on their path. So it's been fun to be a part of that. And now we've given $20,000 away so far in the Little Bang, and 10 of those teams are actually participating in the Big Bang. So that's what I love. I love helping to connect people with our vast network and supporting them along their way in whatever way I can.
That sounds awesome to me. Jim just had to leave, but he wanted me to just tell you thank you and that he's looking forward to any information forward from him. And I'll get you those emails.
Great.
Mitchell, did you have any more questions? So Mitchell asks, which types of potential investors or partners come to networking events and the competitions?
Well, we have angel investors. We have business people, people who've started startups, people who want to pay it forward. You know, entrepreneurs love meeting young entrepreneurs because they see themselves in you, and they want to support you like they've been supported in the past. So they're really inspired by you, and those are the type of people, you know, that come to our events, and that'll be there. There'll be some of our judges, and then they'll be there on May 24th as well. I mean, advice is just, well, going back and looking at the webinars that we've had before. We've had starting something that matters, making the leap, moving from idea to business. Another workshop was defining the problem and solution, and then right to win was developing your executive summary. We've had define and validate your business model, and define the customer and market. And most recently, last week, we had show me the money, your funding and financials. So those are all available on demand whenever you want to watch them. And I can send those links to you guys to go watch those. So I encourage you to do that. And like I said, I would just register. The deadline's February 21st at 11:59 p.m. And I'll send you the link to register as well.